live from room 805 at the Hampton Inn and Suites, Raleigh Midtown. It's a wild card edition of Business Pants Friday featuring the return of the Data Queen. Oh,
Woohoo!
and a couple of other schlubs, but most importantly, the return of the Data Queen. The other guy is
Yes.
somewhere else. Yeah, that's it.
Oh
All
wait,
right, we
it's been
got story of the week,
yeah. Go
goodliest
ahead.
of the week, assholiest of the week, but there's something different today, I believe.
What?
I
What?
think that we switched categories. I think that everyone is not doing their usual category,
Mostly.
which mostly, for the most part.
Yeah, because I'm still gonna do story of the week because no one else volunteered. But I get to do. What am I doing this week? Oh, I'm doing yours, Emma. I'm doing irritatingest of the week.
This is, I feel bad for you because you have, not to toot my own horn,
Yeah.
some big
Well, you
That
know
is
what, Emma?
true.
I didn't even try to be as clever as you. I just went with pure like a pure emotional response, like what actually irritated me.
Boo.
You know how to like weave these weird tales, but
narratives. Yeah.
I'm just irritated. That's it.
Fair enough. It's a new take, a fresh take.
Yes. I'm
But we
most excited
will.
for you, Emma. I'm most excited for the cynical Emma to tell us what's good.
I have to admit, this is not what comes naturally to me. In terms of irritatingness is definitely where I feel more comfortable, shall we say? So
Yeah.
how I did. But for now,
All
let's
right.
start with story.
Yes. I'll try to go quickly. I have actually a couple of my stories a couple of my stories are kind of good, I think. Some of them aren't.
Okay.
First one, oil giants post $46 billion in combined profit in latest quarter.
And
Exxon,
one
Chevron,
quarter.
yeah, Exxon, Chevron, Shell report record profits on high energy prices.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
46
Um,
billion. That's nuts.
yeah,
So
so the
they're
whole
not hurting.
narrative in the US of blaming Biden for high gas prices from the right is a little off. It's clearly off,
Just a
right? I
little.
think we can agree to that. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
isn't the blame supply?
The blame seems to be something they called greedflation.
Ah.
Greedflation, yes.
Yeah, because they know they can, so they do.
But they've always
Uh,
been able to, though, so.
yeah. Well, I don't have a comeback for that. They have always been able to. Yes.
All right.
That's why I own one car, Ari, and that's why you probably bought an electric car. I
Yeah.
suppose. Number two, I like this one because it fits into our narrative completely. So if you remember over the week, U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi went to Taiwan to visit their
Mm-hmm.
president. Who was their president? Tsai. Uh,
This is sad.
I don't have it.
Damon.
Yeah, it is sad. Tsai. Somebody help me out. Ing Wen. Somebody help me out.
You would know better than I believe
I wouldn't.
either
I
of
don't
us.
know all world leaders off the top of my head. I mean, I think the audience must know this about me.
That
I mean, how
So
many
was
could I
China
really
upset
name?
by this?
Yeah.
Tsai
So
Ing-wen.
okay. Well, I was right then.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
don't
So
sound so unsure.
yeah. So it's basically Ari. Everybody was upset about it except for Taiwan. Here in the U.S., people were mad. China was mad. But here's the point. Here's the headline. Pelosi hints gender is real reason China is mad at Taiwan trip. She said they made a
Hers?
big, yeah, her gender. They made a big fuss because on the speaker, I guess. I don't know if that was a reason or an excuse, she said, because they didn't say anything when the men came. Okay.
Huh.
And she also calls the trip a moment of pride for women's leadership. Again, Nancy Pelosi being the third highest ranking elected official in the U.S., right? The third.
Yep.
And then, of course, the president of Taiwan, a woman. So this is a important moment in female
Yeah.
leadership. Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
none of the press covered it this way. I like that Nancy's speaking out in this direction. Okay, that's my number two story of the week. Number three, you know, it's a political story, but we cover a lot here because we're asking the questions of how corporations are handling this horrible mess. But the story, of course, out of Kansas happened on Tuesday. A losing anti-abortion, anti-choice referendum in Kansas cranked up voter turnout by a staggering amount, flagging a massive new problem for Republicans. So yeah,
This is awesome news.
yeah, I think we're all pleasantly shocked.
Way
It's
to
like the
go,
first bit of good
Kansas.
news this summer, right? This is like the greatest news of the summer, I think.
Yep.
Heck yeah. This is awesome.
Yeah, it's a very Trump state. They destroyed. It was like 60-something% voting against this referendum.
Dude, this is why I'm saying overturning Roe v. Wade.
Just overturn every. Really, Matt covered this a little bit in our absence on Monday. Wait, Emma, were you in the show Monday? I don't even know.
No. Ari was there.
The NFL. The NFL is having a weird week. The National Football League. These are stories that we've talked about a lot too. First, there's a recommendation to suspend quarterback Deshaun Watson for 6 games. He was the subject of 24 sexual misconduct allegations, but the NFL is actually pushing back against that suspension. They want it to be longer. They want it to be an indefinite suspension, which is really, it's just bizarre. The whole thing is just bizarre. I don't know if you're following this at all, Emma, but
Yeah, I am.
I don't know. I don't even know how to handle this one. Like I don't know what to say.
Wait,
But
so
yeah,
why doesn't the NFL decide for itself how many games?
because they have a players union appointed arbitrator who determines the suspension, and as Matt pointed out on Monday, has some other strange issues where I guess she ruled against prisoners in the state of New York. She seems to be very pro. I don't know if pro business is the right word, but pro not people. I don't even know yeah, I don't know. It's just this is a
Aren't
bizarre.
there guidelines for this type of stuff? Like I saw.
No, I don't think there are.
I saw on the news Josh Gordon or whatever.
Josh Gordon was a wide receiver who liked to smoke weed.
Yeah, and he got suspended for like 70 something games. I don't know what year this was.
I think a season. I think it's like maybe a season. He got suspended 16 games, I think.
Yeah.
Just I feel there needs to be a standard here. Why aren't we standardizing this?
Well, that's a good question. So this is what Matt reported earlier this week. Sue Robinson is the arbitrator in a case in which a group of prisoners in an overcrowded state prison alleged there was cruel and unusual punishment, with claims that prisoners were sleeping on floor mattresses and that they were regularly being splashed by urine and feces from toilets and cells that were overfilled. She ruled the conditions were not a violation of the prisoners' constitutional rights since they were still receiving adequate food, shelter, and clothing. So, yeah, she sounds like a bit of a nutcase. So the NFL again is appealing her decision to suspend him 6 games for being wrapped up in 24 sexual misconduct allegations. At the same time, the NFL is suspending one of its owners for, I think, also for 6 games. Am I wrong about that? It's either 4 or 6 games for tampering with a contract with Tom Brady. So this is how bizarre the whole thing is just consistently bizarre. So anyway,
I feel like there's just a button. They're like, we're gonna give a suspension. Let me press this button, and then a random number comes up. They're like, all right,
look,
this is it.
I know Matt would disagree with me if he were here, but for Deshaun Watson, who's a quarterback in a meaningless game, honestly, I think you should just be let go. You're fired from the league. I'm sorry. It's like you can go play quarterback somewhere else. I really don't care. Vince
McMahon's football league might have him. Who knows?
Sure.
They seem to share similar interests.
Except I guess Vince McMahon technically, even though he still owns the company, is not the CEO anymore. So there's some cozy deal over there. But I don't know why.
He created the culture over there. Deshaun Watson would fit in.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why the league just can't say, you know what, this isn't working out. This is just not a good fit. Like, the women, children, men who aren't assholes all enjoy watching our league. Like, can we just go away? But anyway, it doesn't seem to happen when money is attached.
No.
But those are my 4 stories: oil profits, Pelosi calling out gender hatred, Kansas voting for pro-choice in the NFL. So I don't know if any of you have a vote.
I'll go first. Got slim pickings here, Damien, I must say.
What, really? I think these are like super exciting stories.
I will definitely go for Kansas because I
Slim
think this is
pickings.
foreshadowing, and I don't know if just that's my optimism
Oh
speaking.
God, I hope so.
But this is foreshadowing. Come on. Oh,
Yeah.
this is great.
Yeah.
This is great.
Emma?
Agree with everything Ari just said. However, I think I
Slim
am gonna
pickings? You agree with
go-
slim pickings?
No, about Kansas.
Okay.
But I gonna go with record profits for companies.
Oh, interesting.
Because
Ooh.
I think that this is sort of the thing that I've been waiting for to come out, which is the making gobs and gobs of money.
Yeah.
And while I'm not convinced that it'll change anyone's mind as to what is going on with the fuel shortage and government involvement, et cetera, but I think that this should be as a red flag in terms of what oil companies are doing right now and who is really to blame for all of this. So I'm going oil companies.
I like it, and I'll settle a tiebreaker. On any other week in any other summer, I think you're right. Like,
Yeah.
That's the free float decision. That does align with our company, but I've just been full of angst and anxiety
know.
all summer, and I'm
I
gonna go with the
understand.
good news and go with Ari and go with
Totally.
Kansas because I just like Kansas.
Is that why
Thank
I picked
you.
it? Because it's good
Kansas.
news?
Thank you, Kansas. Maybe actually it is why you picked it. I mean, look, pick it. All right,
Yeah.
that's it. Story of the week.
Kentucky's next.
What's next? Ooh, Goodliest. Ooh, Emma. Emma's doing Goodliest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's me, which is so used to going this early in the
No.
show. It's very disconcerting.
Oh,
We'll see how I do. Number 1.
yeah.
Ice cream brand Emac and Bolio's teams up with
Huh?
cannabis company Maramed to ice cream. This is one of the heard about it.
That's a good story. Okay.
Said slim pickings. There just isn't that much good news. Like I don't.
That might be true. That might be true.
I knew that Kansas is also. I would like to say right now that Kansas is not on this list only because I knew it was going to be story of the week, and that's boring. So
Sure. Yeah.
I decided to go with other things. So I am excited about this for no particular reason. Yeah.
Very
they
nice.
have
Honestly, Emma,
Yeah.
Emma, I can't believe why did it take this long? Because I mean, like, you think about Ben and Jerry's. Ben and Jerry's has like been associated with stoners for decades.
Vermont.
So it's like, I'm just realizing, how is this the first ice cream brand with THC how is this possible? Are there others that I'm not aware of?
I think that this is not necessarily the first THC ice cream,
Okay.
but I think that it is one of the first larger brands, like name recognizable, are teaming up with marijuana companies. But they have 2 flavors that are currently released. They have cup of
That's
coffee
it?
chip and chocolate sunny day. Excited about the coffee flavor. There are 20 milligrams of THC per 4-ounce container, so they're
Is
they're
that
very
a
small.
lot?
No,
Is that a
it's
lot? 20 milligrams?
20 milligrams. That's a solid. That's an edible right there.
That's a solid high. Yeah.
And a
And this
4-ounce
pick
container,
was
which
sponsored by.
honestly, if we had sponsors, this is probably who should be sponsoring us.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's number 1. Number 2, InfoWars. Alex Jones ordered to pay more than $4 million to Sandy Hook parents. So if either of you have been following this trial
Little bit.
I
this week.
saw a clip.
A little. There's
The
more to
clip, I
come,
wonder
right?
if there is more to come, I believe. But if you've seen any of the clips from this trial, it was probably wildly entertaining. There's one clip where one of the Sandy Hook parents absolutely rips him a new one. She decimates him, and it's really wonderful to see. There's also a clip of prosecution's lawyers asking Alex Jones if he knows what perjury is. because he did end up basically perjuring himself, and he lied to the lawyers, and it
Right.
is just really he just is in the weakest position I've ever seen, except for potentially Twitter. Elon Musk, which could potentially eclipse the crushing legal weight of one side of a trial. But he looked like an idiot. And he also he finally admitted that Sandy Hook 100% happened. He said, and I quote, "It was 100%, and watching him squirm and be punished was great." I thought that this was, yeah.
Not to mention that the January 6th Insurrection Committee is subpoenaing that case for the phone because I guess
Yep.
his lawyer, Alex Jones' lawyer, inadvertently sent his entire text message history.
Correct, which is how they found out that he perjured.
Yeah. And now the January 6th committee, of course, because Alex Jones was involved with that. He was drumming up the January 6th insurrection. Now they're going to have possession of that. So this could be good news on a lot of fronts. Here's what I said. I texted a few friends about this. I saw this 2-minute clip yesterday, and this is what I said to them. I said, "Is this real life?" Really, I couldn't believe what I was. I don't know if it's been a long time, I think, since people actually watch Saturday Night Live, like live on TV, I'm sure. But I'm sure there's some old people in the audience that know what I'm talking about. It reminded me of a clip a skit you'd see like around 12:40, like kind of near the end of the show where no one's really watching anymore. It's like some writers are trying out something. It just, I can't believe this is real life in a real court, real plaintiffs. And I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'm flabbergasted.
Yeah. And finally, number 3, women are far more skeptical of autonomous cars' safety, according to a new Pew report. So,
whoa, tell me.
I find that the main good thing about this is that it is proof that women have common sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Men.
You know what?
Yeah.
Emma, I'm glad you didn't say they have more common sense because they're the only ones with common sense.
No, it's not more. It's just they have it.
They have it.
That's it. That's all you really need.
So yeah. The technology of the autonomous driving.
Right. So I can give you a couple contextual points here. So only 3 in 10 women think that self-driving cars will reduce traffic accidents and fatalities compared to 49% of men, almost half compared to less than a third. And then 17% of women think that self-driving cars are good for humanity versus 37% of men.
Really?
10% of women would not feel comfortable sharing the road with driverless vehicles versus 35% of men. Yeah,
Interesting.
Now,
did they say why? I mean,
I was going to ask too, like, is this based on if self-driving cars are fully operated, the technology is sound, like, or are they worried about it because it's still kind of a mess right now? Does it say anything about that?
So this is a survey that was done in November of 2021. So it really was not that long ago. Driverless technology has not developed that much since November 2021. So I do believe that this was a survey about AI in general, and there were also questions about driverless cars, and so these were the driverless car specific questions. Yeah.
Interesting.
That is so interesting.
This is a tough one
especially because like cars right now, even though men are more likely to crash than women, women involved in a car accident are like 50% more likely to get like seriously hurt just because of how cars cars are designed to an average, which is a male average. So seatbelts, airbags, any safety points are designed for the average male body type.
Why?
Why
on earth would that be the case?
Crash.
But that's just insane. I mean, that's insane.
I know. It's the same reason why they didn't have like spacesuits that fit women, right? Like they just didn't think.
That makes more sense to me. But this is like only because originally they were designing spacesuits for like a handful of people, but they're designing these safety systems at scale for the whole world. Like that's crazy.
I don't know about that. No. So
Nancy Pelosi, thank you.
The average man, and they are not required by regulators to do the same for women. They don't have to have like the average woman's testing.
Huh. Okay.
So
Wait, so why is this good?
This is just good because it is one more
Yeah.
notch
I'm just
on
asking. Okay,
on
got it.
the
Let
fact
women
that-
lead. Yeah.
yeah. It's like, why are we ignoring this?
Emma, let me tell
Yes.
you, if women were in charge of these companies and women were in charge of the engineering teams creating safety standards for cars, they would absolutely include all body types. Like I have no doubt in my mind that
Oh, yeah.
they would look at all of the data and not single in. It's just insanity. It's insanity.
The sort of other factoid that I learned this week that doesn't have so much to do with this, but men are more expensive to insure.
Correct.
That
Oh
is-
yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Because
fact.
they're more likely to crash.
Correct.
Okay. Right. Okay. More likely to be
why
idiots.
no one would look at stats and go, huh,
Mm-hmm.
maybe there's something here. It's beyond me.
I don't know. Maybe if we just put the men in self-driving cars, we will all be safer.
Whoa.
that's not what- Well, that's interesting. But women.
Title take. I like it.
Yeah, but how would women feel about that though? Maybe they'd feel better if it was only. Yeah, that's a good question, Ari. We're gonna have to.
Well,
ponder
I
that
don't
one for
want a
while.
man in a driverless car.
Well, he can't drive it though, right?
The
Can't
driver.
control
Yeah,
it.
but
car.
he bought it and he put himself in it.
You don't know he bought it.
All
right.
Maybe
All
he's
right.
being paid.
Well, I'm gonna go with Alex Jones just because I don't think many times you get such a win from.
Yeah.
Is that
It's
even
like-
a win? I don't even like.
if it's not a win, it's satisfying to see him
It is
admit
there-
it.
yeah.
But is he gonna
Right.
go away, Emma? Is he gonna be out of money and go away, or like?
Well,
That's
he
the
was
hope.
told, I believe, by either by the judge or one of the lawyers that he was not allowed to claim bankruptcy. Like that is so.
Why?
Yeah.
Just like the NFL, why can't the internet fire him? Why can't they be like enough? Where like we don't want you anymore.
Have you met the internet? Have you been
know,
on
but-
the internet?
Where can't they fire people? What about all of us who try hard not to say horrible things? Why don't I get? I should get
It
paid.
shouldn't have to be.
I should
that
get paid
I
just
hard,
for
don't
to
not
be
being a
honest.
jerk and not trolling people. I should get a little
This is
extra.
like Papa John's being like, I had to practice for
Yeah.
24 months.
Okay. Weed and the ice cream. I mean, I don't know what Emma. Like, I'm with. I feel your joy, but I don't know. Couldn't you just?
Yeah, that one's just for the pure.
Okay. I don't know what to say about that. Like, I feel like
That's fine.
the edible market has been strong for a long time. Couldn't you just like shave some of your chocolate onto your sundae? Your edible chocolate?
Dude,
I
you're
know,
so
okay.
resourceful. You really are.
Women, I like the reporting on the women skeptical of self-driving
Yeah.
cars. I don't
That was for
understand
you.
how it's good. I don't understand how it's, and it shows me that this was a struggle for you.
Well,
Emma, 'cause-
here's why it's good. Is that
Yeah.
when driverless
women take
cars,
over.
autonomous
Yeah.
vehicles inevitably, no pun intended, crash and burn and
Yeah.
create all sorts of issues, this will be here being like, yeah, women told
you so.
We told
I'm gonna-
you.
I'm going to see this in an even better way than that, Emma. When women take over, as they
Yeah.
inevitably will have to save our species and our planet, then it all bodes well. Like this is another example of them taking things more seriously and is it pragmatism. Yeah, all
We're
of
just
it.
out
Okay,
here
got it.
to have other people not die. That's
I'll
all.
just go with. I'm going to go with Ari and vote for Alex Jones here, only because I'm actually the thing I'm most excited about is I'm praying that there's something in his phone records that helps the committee arrest Donald Trump. So I'm just hoping that this leads to more and more gold for them. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm going to vote for that one.
Yeah.
Nice.
Truly.
That's
Moving on.
Oh, Ass Holiest of the Week, Ari. Now, Ari, was this easy for you? Like, I'm
no,
worried.
It wasn't.
Good.
One,
Thank God.
the first one was easy, and then it was not easy.
Okay,
So I'll
okay,
start
all
with the first one.
right. Start with easy.
The first one I thought of. It is Equifax. I can't say it. Equifax.
Equifax.
Did I say it right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Equifax.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, this is like
So-
credit scores, right?
Right. Earlier this week, the Wall Street Journal reported that Equifax provided wrong credit scores on millions of U.S. consumers
Whoa.
seeking loans during a 3-week period back in
Wow.
March. Went from March to April. Like, what? This is a company who has credit reports on 200 million people in the U.S.
Yeah.
and they sell these scores to lenders like J.P. Morgan, Wells Fargo, etc. And the errors were apparently big enough for some consumers to cause a difference, like in interest rates or denial of
course.
applications. Like
Right, of course.
it could have swayed.
Damn.
But Equifax said, yes, we gave incorrect credit scores about millions of people, but really only about 300,000 of them were really incorrect. So therefore, it's not as
Whoa.
big deal as you might think.
That sounds like a
Like,
big deal for
what?
300,000 people. Yeah.
Right?
That's
And
like a
in
third
case
of the
you
state, my
have,
state. Yeah.
in case you forgot, in 2019, the FTC fined Equifax $700 million for its 2017 colossal failure of keeping social security numbers, credit card numbers, other info of at least 150 million American consumers safe. Right?
Yeah.
And this fine, even though it was like historic for the FTC at the time, it's really like $2 a person. What? That's not enough.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
how the heck are they still screwing up and mishandling people's info if that is their primary job?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Ari. I have the similar story in my list, but I'm with you. How the hell are these companies still screwing up? It's crazy. There's no accountability.
I did what we do best, and I
Yeah.
went digging their board. And I know you're not going to be shocked, but you
Yeah,
can
tell us.
connect them all. And the people who
They're all
run
friends.
this failure of a place
Yeah.
is a trio that survived the 2017 scandal: Rob Marcus, Mark Fiedler, and John McKinley.
Okay.
And if they're listening, I'm coming
Yeah.
for you.
They're listening.
A threat. I
But
love
yeah,
it.
Don't
these
threaten them, Ari. That's not how we
these
roll.
No, I like it. Keep threatening.
I'm coming for you with my facts. But
Okay.
these bros are alumni of AT&T, News Corp, Time Warner, AOL, among others. And
Mhm.
I know you're probably wondering, isn't this all the same company? Yes. However, at the time, they were not all merged. But since they got there, what they've done is bring in people that they have known from their
course.
past.
Yeah.
And companies that pop up are GE, Western Union, Citigroup, even Aflac, the cute little
Mhm.
duck. Like,
Yeah.
so this board is full of people who know
Wait.
each other, and they're having a grand old time
Duck.
sitting on boards while millions of American consumers just get their shit
Emma.
exposed all the time.
Emma, is it
This
a
is
duck or a
bananas.
goose? Is it a goose or a duck? Which is it?
Aflac
The
duck.
Aflac. Is it a goose?
It's
a
a
duck?
duck,
No,
Okay.
for sure.
Ari,
geese don't
Do we-
quack. It's Aflac.
do we really need
quack quack?
people? Do we really need Rob, Mark, and John in charge of anything anymore? Haven't they had their
No.
time? They're done. I
Like,
think they should be done.
we should revolt against these people.
Yes.
They have I can't. Every
Yeah,
single
okay.
time I get a new debit card because like, oh, there was a breach of your whatever.
hmm
It's like
Blame Rob, Mark, and John.
that's who I'm gonna blame first, yeah. So now moving on. I feel like nothing so after that, nothing else really.
If you can only present one story if you want. That's up to you.
No,
Okay.
I got this. Number
Yes.
2,
Yeah.
your boss is the
Oh.
asshole of the week.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
This is another headline.
I believe that, by the way.
Well, this is a headline from the Washington Post.
Yeah.
Your boss might be reading your work messages.
Oh,
Of course.
I knew that.
So, no, but listen.
Yeah.
Company email, company instant messenger,
Mhm.
company phone, fine. You know this is a possibility.
That's fine.
However,
Yeah.
I did not realize that as more people are working remotely and there's more software available to them by their employer to supposedly make it easier, even
Yeah.
if it's your own phone and you
Ooh.
download this app that you need to in order to make your work from home life work, your company can track your stuff
Really.
outside of this app.
I want to be more surprised by this. I am upset by it, but I wish I was more surprised.
Like assholes. Also,
Yeah.
I mean, I did know that they could read your crap when I worked, even now.
Oh,
But
yeah.
if your boss is really taking time to like go read this, oh my God.
What's wrong with people?
My viewpoint on all this is that cynically is that it's always just been they do it not to actually keep tabs on you and to read it consistently, but when they're sick of you and they want to fire you. We've all done
They want to go
we've all done at
find
least
stuff.
one thing we shouldn't have done. So they just look and they find it and they're like, okay, that's what you did. You're fired.
Wow. Yeah, great point. However, still, ugh.
Okay.
And then number 3.
Yes.
My number 3 asshole of the week is
Assholest.
Applebee's.
Apple. Yeah. Okay. I understand that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yep.
Why
And
Applebee's?
it is
this
because
week?
they launched 4 lip glosses that taste like chicken wings. We
Yeah.
don't need more crap in the world.
Yeah,
Like,
we don't.
What? And
Yeah.
they're selling for $18 a pop, and they're named
$18?
$18 for a tiny little lip gloss. I don't know if you know how small lip glosses are,
Yeah, I
but
do.
they're not.
What do you-
They're like the size of
Live
your
under a
finger,
rock?
if that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're named Honey Barbecue Tea,
Mm-hmm.
Sweet Chili Kiss,
Right.
Be My Honey Pepper, and
Right.
Get Me Hot Buffalo.
Can I wait?
Also, like,
Yeah.
and they're supposed to taste like they taste like it, right? So
Yeah.
all I can think of is just people just gonna be like eating it. You know,
Okay.
those kids that ate glue in elementary
Yeah.
school, those are the kids that
Yeah.
are gonna go buy this lip gloss
Ari.
and just like lick their lips until their lips are raw.
Am
I
I
hope
looking
they're
at
not
what? Ari, when I look at you,
toxic.
am I looking at one of the people who ate glue in elementary school?
I did try it just because
Okay,
I
then the answer is
saw
yes.
kids
The answer is
doing
yes.
it. I
Yeah.
tried it once, Damien.
The answer
okay?
is yes.
I didn't do
Uh,
it.
Can I just?
However,
Yeah.
my favorite thing to do with glue was definitely putting glue all over my hands,
And
waiting
then-
for
Oh,
it to dry,
definitely.
and then peeling it.
Of course.
Well,
of course,
that's
yeah.
just
That's-
Yeah, that's
one of life's pleasures.
One,
Yeah.
that's life 101, Ari. We all know that. Listen,
Wax. Same thing.
can I just agree with one thing here? The lip glosses don't taste like chicken wings. Applebee's, you're lying to us. They taste like the sauces you put on chicken wings. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's true.
Chicken wings taste like chicken. They just like don't do this to me. Okay, all right.
I like
that's all I had to say. That.
technicalities.
All right, there's nothing good ever came
What
out
I
of
do
Applebee's.
feel badly,
All right, yeah.
who I do feel badly for, were the people who are working in a lab because they were forced to develop this aroma, and they specifically said that their lab smelled like chicken wings for weeks.
Right. No, like some people
Which-
might say that's a good thing, Ari. I don't know.
That's also
True.
torture
However,
at
if
some
you think
point.
it's a good thing, then you're gonna want to eat your chicken wings, and there are no wings because it's a lab.
I don't know what's going on.
You can't eat. in
So
the
you went
lab,
from
Damien.
Equifax. You went from Equifax giving wrong credit scores to millions of Americans to lip gloss that tastes like chicken. I mean, really, those are very two different assholes.
Yeah,
I like
it was a journey.
Okay.
All right, I
this
can
one's
go first.
This is easy. Yeah, go Emma.
Yeah. I'm gonna. Damien and I will speak for both of us when I
Applebee's,
say.
of course.
Okay, I do have to give it to you though. I didn't think that you could
Yeah.
make me as mad at Applebee's as you did, but honestly, it was your first sentence. It was, "We don't need more crap in the world."
That's
like
true,
that's
absolutely,
just, it's really
absolutely.
convincing. If you say
Yeah.
that to me about something, I'm pretty convinced that you're an asshole. But it is Equifax through and through. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, we can move on. Of course, it's Equifax. Right? Yeah. All right. Thank you, Ari.
Thank you,
Um,
Ari.
And really, like, just so you know, I'm boiling over about that, Ari, because it's
Good.
the fact that there's just no accountability, which leads into my next story, makes me insane. And I will piggyback off of your Equifax story and just talk about this headline. I'm doing irritatingest of the week. Irritatingest of the week. And I'm kind of equally irritated about this story as I am Equifax, and it's really the same story. So I won't go too much into depth. I had a lot down here, but I'll just parrot Ari. The story is that the baby formula shortage isn't over, and ending it may take a while. And it's really the same complaint as that Abbott Laboratories, who was mostly responsible for this, that unfortunately there's a monopoly on baby formula in this country. Abbott being one of the 4 companies responsible for that monopoly. They had a plant shut down in February because there was bacteria and leaks in the roof, cracks in key equipment. I mean, inadequate hand washing. I mean, just terrible stuff. Especially if you're going to be part of a monopoly of something, can you get it right? Honestly, like, get it right. And it's still an issue. They're reporting in states like Colorado and Kansas, which we just talked about, that Baby formula product in stock dropped below 60% in July. And again, who is this hurting other than, of course, the babies? It's hurting women. I mean, it's women who are almost solely responsible for this household duty. So it's another thing against women. And just like Ari, I'm irritated because what is happening? There's zero accountability. I went to the Abbott Laboratories website. They have this massive newsroom part of their website with like 10 different categories with hundreds of articles. The only thing they posted about this was they were forced to post the recall of baby formula in February because of course they're going to be required to do that. Nothing since.
That's
Nothing.
it.
I just don't understand how that's even allowed. Like they should be weekly updates about what they're doing. Seriously.
Oh my God.
Not to mention that there was a big storm, which was not their fault. I don't think it was their fault. There was a storm over the summer where the baby formula factory had to get shut down again, and like, even that they don't report on. They just don't report on this stuff. I just like, what are you up? I don't know. I don't know what a company's for other than to tell us what the hell is going on. Like, but anyway, yeah.
This just feels like a single point of failure here.
Yes.
How is that allowed for baby formula?
This is what I don't get. And just like you're upset about there's zero accountability. I looked at the board. I looked at the leadership. Nobody's been fired. No one's even been added on to like help with the issue. So there's no movement. They had some stupid apology.
Are they even aware? Do we know that they're aware?
They're aware. The CEO apologized. Of course, the CEO made 20 million 2 years ago, 25 million last year. So he just keeps getting raised. There's just no accountability. It just drives me insane. That's my first irritating story of the week. Okay. It goes downhill from here because I was just really pissed off about that. Number 2 was just like the same old irritation, like Meta is being sued for collecting patient health data. Elon Musk is somehow still the CEO of 4 companies. Amazon's adding even more same-day deliveries. It's just this constant irritation that I can't get over. Like, yeah, that's my second one. Is the ongoing irritation.
Is the Meta and health data from hospitals? Is it because they have a product that hospitals are using, or are they just?
Yes, they're contracted to some app of theirs is being used in the hospitals, and then Meta is taking the opportunity to take that data and use it to target patients for ads about medicines, and yeah.
I know I shouldn't be shocked. That's
and again, like,
revolting.
I guess it goes with the first one. It's just like, where's the accountability here? Because these companies get so big that even a fine's like, what does the fine matter? It doesn't matter anymore.
Right.
That's my number 2 irritation is just like the ongoing craziness of these big companies. Number 3, I feel like this is the summer of not cooperating. Like we talked about this with first it's like Donald Trump with the insurrection, then NFL owner Dan Snyder wouldn't show up to talk about all the harassment at his company, and now Tyson is not cooperating with the meat price gouging probe in New York. So the state of New York is suing Tyson because they're accusing them of price gouging people during the pandemic, intentionally raising prices of meat for absolutely no reason during the pandemic. And Tyson is deciding all of a sudden that they're resisting the demands to provide information. They're just like, nah. So, yeah,
what?
that irritated me.
Yep.
Am I doing a good job here, Emma? I don't feel like I'm.
Are.
Okay, I'm irritated, but I don't know if I'm telling the story in a poetic way. I'm just going to get irritated. And finally, the last irritation for me was, again, I guess it's like I'm on this like train of like, where's the accountability here? But the fourth story is Airbnb apologizing for a slave cabin listing after being called out on TikTok video. I guess there were several slave cabins up for rent.
What the heck?
And then the owner also of the Belmont plantation is also apologizing because he didn't. I guess he knew the listing was up, but he didn't do anything about it. And I don't know. Again, I'm just like irritated by this, not only for the obvious reason that they're trying to rent out slave cabins, but that it's just like all you have to do is just apologize and that's it. Like, I don't know. I mean, yeah. I'm all sweaty now.
Wow. There's a lot to choose from here, I think.
There's a lot to choose from.
Yeah, this category was not slim pickings, Damien.
No, not
Well,
at
look,
all.
as Emma can attest to, when you look at our news headlines, it's very easy to get irritated by things. Like
It
they
really is.
provoke you. Yeah.
It really
So.
is.
Emma, do you
Okay.
want to go first?
Yeah, I can go. God, you really got me with the baby formula one. Like
Ugh.
that one.
What are you doing,
just-
people? I mean, what are you doing?
I really don't know. But I have to admit, the thing, the Airbnb thing is definitely irritating, but I think is
Mhm.
ultimately like gonna be a blip. Um, and isn't going to have long lasting irritating effects, so I'm trying to account for that. And then the irritation of all the big data stuff and Elon Musk and Meta and whatever. Yeah, that's irritating, but it's kind of old news. I'm constantly irritated by that. It doesn't have any wow factor, which is always what I'm looking for in this category, I guess. And I just discovered
Okay.
right now because this is the first time I've ever had to vote on it, which is
Yeah.
interesting. Um, but the Tyson one also did, because this is something that I think for me specifically has been irritating me. Like ever
why?
since honestly met Matt and Damien, I did not really understand the horror that is meat manufacturers, Tyson
Yeah.
specifically, especially at the beginning of the pandemic. And
Mhm.
I just want them to meet their maker. Like I want Tyson to get like really
Amen.
crushed into the ground. Like, and
Like
I just
Alex Jones.
yeah, I want bad things to happen to the executives at Tyson.
Yeah, it's like how long are you allowed to screw up? I mean, how much damage do you have to do against like the stakeholders and the consumers? And I just don't. It doesn't make sense to me.
Tyson's over there like, the limit does not exist.
It
Yeah.
doesn't. You're right. It doesn't seem to exist.
Yep, but I think it is a tighter race than maybe was anticipated between Tyson and baby formula shortage. But I'm going
Okay.
baby formula shortage.
Okay, I like
That
it.
is pissing me off.
You know what pisses me off, Emma, is that like allowed to enter into a monopoly to
And
produce,
then not-
produce something so important, and then you can't even get your shit together, right? So shouldn't
You're a monopoly. It's your one job.
right? So shouldn't you be fired? Just like in the like Deshaun Watson, like shouldn't you just be fired? Like you can't even get us enough baby formula. We need this baby formula.
And
like
it's
you're
not
fired.
even like, and it's not even like, I don't know, like some other necessity that you can have a substitute for. It's like
Right,
this is
yeah.
the food
Baby-
that babies need.
Baby food. It's crazy. Like, isn't this the one thing we can all agree on? Like this goes across
That
political
babies
aisles.
deserve to eat.
Yeah,
Like, I
don't we want
know.
babies to be eating? I mean, it's ridiculous. It really
I'm
is
with you.
ridiculous.
This is
Get
why
your
I'm-
act
yeah.
together, Abbott.
Yeah. So yeah, baby formula shortage for me. That's okay. I'm done.
Ari?
now.
All right. Yeah, Tyson and baby formula definitely got me.
Mm-hmm.
However,
Yeah.
just the same old ongoing irritation, the every day this crap from Meta taking crap
Uh-oh.
they shouldn't, knowingly taking crap that they
Yeah,
know
you-
they shouldn't take.
Yeah, you're the data
Like,
queen.
the
You do get mad about
every
data, don't you? I've noticed this about you.
day.
Equifax, Meta, yeah.
Totally.
I like it.
Like, Amazon same day deliveries.
What is
No, but
this?
God,
What is this same day
think-
delivery bullshit?
I think it's the everyday stuff that people
Mhm.
can become desensitized to
Yeah.
that is really irritating to me right now.
Yes. Well, they
Right?
say that degrowth is really might be the only way to solve the climate crisis. Degrowth might be it. Our only hope.
Heard it
Yeah.
here first. Probably
Ugh,
not.
Scary.
Yeah. So you got a tie to break again.
Yeah.
Oh, so you went with
Same old ongoing irritation
Well,
for sure.
I went with you the first round, Ari, with Kansas. But this baby thing is really getting me going. Only because again, like the fact that there is no accountability and that these executives, and I was looking at the leadership team over there at Abbott, and it's like, of course it's 22 listed leaders on their leadership page, 4 women. I mean, think about that. In 2022, we're still at this point where they have the audacity to run a company of this magnitude that does, among other things, sell baby formula, and they think only 4 out of 22 of the top leadership should be women. It's like my mind is blown. Like I thought we understood this to be in like 1972, not 2022. I don't know. I'm very sweaty today, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna break the tie and go with that one, baby formula.
All right.
Okay. That's the show. Before we get to who won the week and predictions, I'll wrap up. Story of the week are the wonderful voters in Kansas keeping pro-choice, keeping health care alive for women, keeping the women's right to choose. Goodliest of the week is that Alex Jones is finally admitting he's an asshole and getting punished. Assholiest of the week is Equifax. Can't even do their jobs. Reporting wrong credit scores. I mean, Ari, that is like so terrible. It makes me so insane. They can't even report accurate credit scores. I mean,
Nope.
Irritating us the week is Abbott
And
Labs.
don't get me started, obviously, about how they get to the credit score.
Yeah, that's
and
a whole
how
nother
messed up
nightmare.
Credit scores in
Let's
general.
not.
Speaking of algorithmic bias, irritating of the week again along the lines of Equifax. Abbott Labs can't do its job accurately, yet nobody gets fired, and that's it. Anyone who won the week? I have an easy one. I'll go first.
Go for it.
Women in Kansas clearly, to me, won the week. Absolutely, women in Kansas.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I have one to add, which is I think that oil companies won the week because
Ooh, cynical win. Okay, well they did win though. They did win.
Yeah,
They're
I
winning.
think there's not really much arguing that oil companies are secretly always winning, but this is one of few weeks of the year where they are openly winning because of their revenue announcements. Usually they're complaining about some shit, but this week they are overtly winning. So
you know how much
they're
they're
doing
winning,
that,
Emma?
I guess.
And this is how much they're really winning. Most nights I go to this this lovely beach near me, right? And I walk, I read, whatever. And it's a beautiful view. You know, there's like you look at the islands, you look at the sailboats. There's this very famous lighthouse. It's quite lovely. Invariably, what ruins it? A giant oil tanker comes through the harbor, and it just kills the mood every time. So you're right. They're always winning something. Those dorks.
Yeah. And you know what?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys will agree, but
Yeah. Maybe.
I feel like Pelosi's retort was good for her image.
Yeah,
this week.
absolutely. Hey, she gets, and I appreciate, Emma, that you call out on her husband's stock dealings, and 'cause
Totally.
I think it's atrocious that Congress people and their families are allowed to own stocks. Nancy Pelosi has been, just like Hillary Clinton, has been a lightning rod of hate forever, and it's only because of one reason. It's only because of their gender. That's it. The end of story. Because all politicians act like Nancy Pelosi and Hillary Clinton. They all
100%.
are exactly the same. So, except for of course Bernie Sanders. So, but otherwise, predictions. Anyone?
Yep, I have sort of it's the two-parter who won the week prediction for me, so I can go first. My prediction is that oil company executives will start talking about their quote-unquote financial hardships within 6 months of their revenue announcements.
I mean, like something is gonna. The demand is gonna. Okay.
We need tax breaks because we're
Right.
struggling to pay our
I like it.
employees and resources are limited and like whatever whining they're gonna do, and just the cycle is going to. I mean, this is less of a prediction and more of a known cycle that I'm
the
ready
sun
to
rises.
start again. Exactly.
Yeah.
My favorite is when they're like, "Oh, you want us to be more sustainable? Well, you could really give us some money because we don't have any to invest in that."
Well, I didn't even.
Stuff is
you know what?
expensive.
One story I didn't report on that I was going to put in the Irritating of the Week. I took it off because I just didn't want to talk about taxes because it's just so boring.
Yeah,
but
fair
Exxon is in the news because they're still fighting with the U.S. government. They want $1.3 billion back because they figured out some tax loophole that is completely mind-numbing and maddening when you look at it.
No.
That happened like 15 years. Yeah, okay, sorry, Emma. Okay. My prediction is this. As of Monday on the show, we're finally going to have actual proof that everything is better than flying. Okay? Everything.
Proof. This We're gonna
Here's
have
the proof.
empirical evidence. Okay.
Here, I have empirical evidence because both Matt and I both have to go to weddings this weekend. Unfortunately, we both have weddings to attend on Saturday. Matt,
Congrats,
sorry,
couple.
sorry everyone.
Couple.
Matt stupidly flew down to North Carolina for his dumb wedding.
Ugh.
Mine is right here, 2.1 miles away from my house.
Oh my
a 30-minute
God.
walk.
Damien. I don't want to
Are
hear
you
anything
walking?
about
'Cause you should.
anything.
Look, I probably won't because it's summer and hot. I'll be annoyed. I'll be dressed up, but I could.
Yeah.
I'll just put it. It's
You
right
could.
across from the old MSCI office, which I used to walk to every day of my life. So yeah, I
Wow.
could, but I probably won't. But whatever. I'm still not
See
gonna
who you
fly
can
though,
convince.
Ari. I'm not gonna fly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good. We're anti-flying.
We are.
There you go.
flying.
That's it. That's all I got.
I don't have
All
a
right.
prediction this week, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, you don't. It's kind of your thing.
I predict that next week I will have a prediction.
Actually, I have another prediction for you,
Whoa,
Ari.
I don't believe
I
that.
predict. I predict that I start calling your husband either Matty or Matthew because I'm sick of your husband
Aw.
being named Matt, just like our Matt here.
Okay, but what about your Courtneys?
Well, we don't-
Oh.
But it's different because we don't have a
is.
Courtney that works for us,
This is
and
true.
Well,
Yeah.
when you talk to each other about a Courtney, whoever brought her up knows who you're talking about,
that's true.
right?
That's true.
Because
yeah.
I talk to you, or I can talk to Emma about Matt, and then you don't know who I'm. Well,
Yeah, the
actually, no.
problem
You assume. You always assume I'm referring about one of them, and
I
then
do.
sometimes it gets really awkward.
Well, you know what it is that it usually starts off with this sentence: Matt was annoying me today, and I think, well, that could be either Matt,
Which
right?
one?
Because they're both annoying. Yeah, I mean,
And also it's probably both, even if she's only
probably
talking
is
about
both.
one.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I feel like I've never said that to you. Anyway,
All right, let's wrap this up. Kidding.
All Matts are great.
Courtneys, too many. That was Business Pants. I'm Emma Lurking. Thank you to Damian Rollis and Ari the Data Queen for joining me on this lovely Friday show. We will be back on Monday. Weekend wrap up. Thanks for listening and see you then.